is, the first verse is Sadeva Saumya Idamagra Asit. Sadeva, Sat alone. Idam means this world, this universe, Agre, before its creation. Asit means Tha. This universe, before its appearance, was its source, the truth, the Sat. This is a peculiar thing. We are not saying that before the creation there was Sat. Before the creation there was Sat is a different statement. It is like once upon a time there was a king. Once upon a time there was a king is a kahani. Once upon a time there was a king is a kahani. But once upon a time there was God. That is not what we say. Before the world was created, there was God. We don't say that. We say something else. I hope you are listening. इसको 10-15 साल के बाद एक विद्यार्थी गुरुकुल में पढ़ते पढ़ते ये पॉइंट 15 साल के बाद सडन अरे ये तो अलग है. 15 साल के बाद he starts thinking, oh my God, this I never registered. Yes, this I never registered. Even though the teacher was telling every day, hey, did you register this point? He was not registering. इतना आसान थोड़ी है. वेदांत को सुनना आसान है, उसको फॉलो करना, वर्ड बाय वर्ड फॉलो करना इतना आसान नहीं है. शब्द का आनंद लेते रहते हैं आराम से. Like in Shastra, Shravanam is one, like a lullaby. ऐसा बहुत कुछ हो जाता है. What he said is something else, fantastic unfoldment. This universe was, before its creation, it was only the Sat, the being, the subject. The object before its creation was subject. Let me put it in intelligible language, where you don't have to imagine. The object before its creation was the subject. Meaning what? It was non-separate from the subject. It was non-separate from the subject. Sadeva Swami Idamagrasid Ekameva Dvitiyam. If the whole universe was the subject, then what was it? One without a second. Like the waves before their creation were water. It's like that. We don't say before the creation of the waves there was water. Isn't it? We don't say before the creation of the waves there was water. We don't say before the creation of the waves, all these waves that look like waves were water. That is the thing. These waves were water. This universe was the subject. This universe was Brahman. This universe was Brahman means there is Samanatikaranyam means it was not with Brahman, close to Brahman, upon Brahman, in Brahman. No, there was Brahman. It was Brahman. Therefore, Sadeva Swami Idamagrasid Ekameva Advitiyam. This is the meaning of the first sentence. This universe, before its creation, was Sat, the source, the Sat, the subject, the Sat, the conscious being. And some people also state this fact differently. They state differently. How? Tat ha eke. The same thing is put differently by others. Eke aguhu. They say, asadeva idamagrasit. This universe was asat, means not non-existent. This universe before its creation was unmanifest in Brahman. Some say this was Brahman, some say this was unmanifest in Brahman. Tatparyam is the same. Tadhaika ahuhu asadeva idam agre asit ekameva dvitiyam. One without a second. Some say, some sages say, some Upanishads say, not some laymen say. Some Upanishads say, some Vakyas say, some Shakhas in the Vedas say that this universe before its creation was Brahman, and some say they were all unmanifest in Brahman. It's like saying the waves before their creation was water. We can also say they were all unmanifest in water. The waves before their creation were all unmanifest in water. We can also say they were all water, but Tatparyam is this: they were all water, non-separate from water. They were non-separate from water. If they were all water before, now also they are water, then what is the extra about the wave? Then why do you call this? If it is all water, if it is water, then why do you call a wave? This is a riddle. This is where you get the breakthrough. If this is a water, why not people call it water? Why do people call it a wave? If the wave is water, then why do we call it a wave? There is a logic behind it, there is a reason. Even though it remains water, but yet it looks a little different. There is a certain extra, means I view it as I look at it in terms of its form. If I look at it in terms of the substance, then there is no form. But I am looking at it in terms of a form. Then I call it a wave. That is called Nama Rupa. Name and form. The substance plus name and form. Water plus name and form is a wave. Whatever, we have to begin like this because there is no other way. Water plus name and form is wave. Similarly, Bhagavan, the Sat, the source plus name and form is the creation. The source, the Sat, plus name and form. The subject plus the name and form. The conscious being plus the name and form. Or the source plus the name and form. The substance plus the name and form is the universe. And therefore, the name and form don't become really second to the substance. Here, it's a huge, if we can really grasp it. Substance is what is. Name and form is what is only seen to be. What is only seen to be is name and form. What is the substance. One is what is, the substance is what is. The name and form is only just seen to be. It's not really there. Like dream mountains are not there, they are only seen to be. So you had a dream and you saw mountains. And after waking up, you in retrospect, looking back, you can't say there were mountains. You can't say there were mountains. That's a huge statement. There were mountains is a huge statement. There were no mountains. They were only seen to be. You will only seem to be. So, to be there is different. If it is there, it cannot go. What is there can't go. If it goes, then it was not there. It was only seen to be. Did you hear that? If it is there, to be there means to be eternally there. To be there means to be eternally there. And what is there can never go, and what goes was never there, was only seen to be there. In that manner, the dream mountains were not there but only seen to be there. In fact, even the waking world, we can't say it is there. You can't say waking universe is there. If it is there, it should be eternally there. But when I fall asleep, in the state of sleep, it is not there. There is a place where this is not. See? Therefore, the definition is the subject, the observer is what is, the source is what is, whereas the universe is only seen to be. Seen to be. Therefore, ahuhu asadev idamagrasid ekamevad tasmat asataha sajjayata. Tasmat, from that, asataha, from that unmanifest state, sajjayata, here sat means this manifest is born. From the unmanifest came this manifest world. We have three words here. I would like you to follow a little. One is the truth, the source, like the water. Let us continue with this example until things become clear. Water is what the substance in which there is a wave, and the wave has got two phases: to become manifest and to remain unmanifest. So that unmanifest is described by the word asat, and the manifest state is described as sat. And the water is also sat. Water is sat, because that is what is. When we say water is sat, it means that is what is. What always is sat. And unfortunately, the same word is used for the manifestation of the wave also. The wave becomes manifest. The wave as manifest is also sat. And the wave as unmanifest is asat. Now we have these two words in all the three situations. So when we say water is sat, that means that is the truth, that is what is. And wave is, when it is manifest, it is called sat. When it is unmanifest, it is called asat. In all the three stages, there is no reference to shunyam, reference to nothingness. There is no nothingness. The world as manifest is, the world as unmanifest is, the source of both is. Now where is not? Where is not? There is no is not. Okay, now I have covered this verse. I will continue to talk the way it should be taught traditionally. आप लोग जितना हो सकता है उतना ग्रास्प कर लेना बस. That is the only way it works. Vedanta teaching is tough, because trying to tell people what they can grasp is also a wrong method. Playing to the gallery is a very, very risky thing, because supposing, if I have to talk in your language, and how many languages are there? As many languages as there are students. Bas. It doesn't work. Teach the Shastram as it is and let the students rise to the occasion and grasp it. I found that works. That's useful. If you say, oh, they are all really beginners, they can't understand, therefore let me tell something, and then just finish the class, it doesn't work. Because 1 hour is a crisis. From till 9:30 to 10:30, I have to keep the students going. You understand? And that's a crisis. And to tide over that crisis, really you invent some methods. Somehow or other manage to finish 1 hour and then say Purnamadaha, Purnamidam, Purna, Purna. That is one approach. Somehow or other manage to pass one time and then give something and then you walk off. That's being unfair. That's being unfair. You better teach the students, you better tell the world what the script, because the Shastram tells the truth to man about himself. The Shastram tells the truth to man about himself. That truth, the one who teaches has to explain, hey, this is the truth about you, this is the truth about life, this is the truth about the disciplines, about the values, this is the truth about this universe, this is the truth about God. As it is unfolded, you teach the truth. If it is a little tough, let the students rise to the occasion. Let the students rise to the occasion. Supposing you teach them only at just something, some small little things, then they never rise to the occasion. They never grow. It is nice, you are so compassionate to the students for 15 years. So in nursery school, then in primary school, then in higher secondary school, and then in college also, you don't want the students to go through tough lessons. You keep teaching them only the alphabet till they are complete the masters. Are you able to follow? Till 15 years, for 15 years you are only talking about alphabet. Clear? Now, try to follow whatever is taught. What is said is this, that is, it's what looks like an appearance. There was a time when this was not. This appearance was not. There was a time when this appearance was not. There was a time when time itself was not. And that time need not be imagined. Before one wakes up from sleep, this appearance is not. Before one wakes up, sleep is a time at which time itself was not. Sleep is a place where space itself was not. Sleep itself was a state in which this form was not. There was nothing. All this was, there was only ekatvam, there was only one self. Why do you say that in deep sleep state, one says there is only one self, there is only one self, there was no object? Why do you say that? Why? Because the absence of the object is experienced, freedom from the world is felt, freedom from time is felt by people, is experienced, freedom from the universe is felt by everybody, freedom from the body and the mind is felt by everybody, freedom from struggle is felt by everybody, freedom from one's existence is not felt. You can't be and still feel your own. One can't feel one's absence. One can't feel one's absence. One can feel one's body and thought, but one can't feel one's own absence. That is not possible. Therefore, One cannot even suppose one's absence. One's absence can't be supposed. This particular phrase you have to dwell on. You have to think of it. One's absence cannot be even supposed. You have to just hear 5-6 times to hear it. What did I say? One's absence cannot be even supposed. You can't say supposing I am not there, you can't say. It cannot be even supposed. Can't be supposed. It's like, supposing the fire is cold. You can't suppose, because it's nature. You can't suppose. It is an impossible supposition. Similarly, one's absence cannot be supposed. That's why it says, this Sat, before in deep sleep state, one does feel one's freedom from the world, all right. One does not feel absence of oneself. Therefore, this object was nothing but the subject was all unmanifest in the subject and becomes manifest. This is all experienced. Now let us continue the bhashyam. Sadeva. First take the first word. Sadeva. Sadeva means Sat alone. Saditi astita matram. Sat means pure existence. Astita matram. Astita means pure existence. Vastu, what is? Pure existence that is there. Sukshmam, and it's very subtle. Nirvisesham, and it is unqualified, free from the physical attributes. Nirvisesham. Sarvagatam, all pervasive. Ekam, one. Niranjanam, Anjanam means taint. Niranjanam means untainted. All these put together is the meaning of the word Sat. Truth, what is? What is this? What is it? Astida matram. It is unlike thinking. What is unlike a state of thought. Thinking is a process. Being is what is. Being is not a process. You see, I'll give you an example. I'll try. Speaking words is a process. Talking words, speaking words is a process. But becoming silent is not a process. Silence is not a process. Because process, the definitions try to visualize process like this. Supposing something goes on changing. That's a process. Or something begins and ends and begins and ends and begins and ends. That is a process. The sounds begin and end. One sound begins and ends, another sound begins and ends, another sound begins and ends. We can call it a process. Okay, koi baat nahi. A process. Something is happening. The sound comes and goes, comes and goes. Coming and going is a process. Coming and going is a process. Change is a process. Like the body goes on changing, it's never the same. All the time it is becoming, new cells are being born, old cells are dying, and then keep on changing its look slowly. It is changing its colors. This is all process. Eating is a process. Digestion is a process. Assimilation is a process. These are all physical, physiological processes. But stillness is not a process. Silence is not a process. This is silence, that non-process, that silence, that stillness is not something physical. It is the subject that enjoys the nature of being still. Universe doesn't enjoy the nature of being still. Universe begins and ends. Now it is seen to be, now it is not. But what enjoys the nature of being tranquil is the subject. Tranquility is the nature of the subject. Tranquility is the nature of the subject. Tranquility is not the nature of a mountain. Even though people think mountains are tranquil, tranquility is not the nature of matter. I am saying this and I stand by it. Tranquility is not the nature of matter. If tranquility were the nature of matter, then looking at matter, I should be tranquil. Living with the tranquil, I should be tranquil. There should be no intranquility. Matter doesn't enjoy tranquility. Matter doesn't enjoy tranquility. Matter is in the form of a form, sound, taste, touch, smell. These 5 perceptions. Now please tell me, out of the 5 perceptions, which is tranquility? Is form tranquility? Can you say it's tranquility? Form is form. Form has got many sides. My attention keeps moving from one side to another side. Form is form, but you please don't define form as tranquility. Sound is sound, it's not tranquility. Taste is just taste, touch, smell. Tranquility is not a sense object. Tranquility is the nature of the subject. Tranquility is the nature of the subject. What about disturbance? Disturbance is the nature of matter, not the subject. Why? Because disturbance is always in the form of an object or a thought. And thought is objectified. Thought is disturbance. Therefore, disturbance is the nature of the thought, tranquility is the nature of the subject. I am going to repeat it. Disturbance is the nature of thought. Disturbance is the nature of every emotion. Disturbance is the nature of every emotion, including love. I tell you, is love tranquility? Swamiji, please give me some time. We will think about it. Is not love cumbersome? To begin with, love is noble. Compared to hatred, love is better. But it has got its own problems. You become anxious about the person for whom you have love. Does it create tranquility? Is there love has its own responsibility? I am only saying love may be noble, but it's not tranquility. But I am not saying love is bad or anything. Don't imagine. Listen to me correctly. Love may be great, but it has its musibats. Bas. This word should convey. Love has its musibats. You love your children, but it brings its anxieties. You love your children, it causes its anxieties. It causes its responsibilities. It causes its disturbances. Therefore, ultimately, anxiety is disturbance. Therefore, love culminates where? Disturbance. Love culminates in disturbance. You get disturbed. Even when a person dies, I tell you, he dies with an anxious mind for those whom he is leaving behind. पता नहीं मेरे बच्चे कैसे संभालेंगे। नहीं समझा? पता नहीं मेरे बच्चे कैसे संभालेंगे। Then the bacche will say, despite you we were able to do samalo. Without you, of course, we will be able to do samalo. With you around, we were able to survive. Without we, of course, we can survive, they will say. And still he is getting attached. You are Rama, not able to follow. You are Rama. But anyway, tranquility is not the nature of any emotion. Hatred ends up in disturbance. Jealousy, culminates in disturbance. Every emotion by nature is disturbance. I am talking Vedanta, please. I am not giving a moral lesson. This is Vedanta. Vedanta means analyzing what are its consequences. Understanding tranquility can never be the nature of an object, nor can it be the nature of an emotion, nor can it be the nature of any thought, because a thought by nature is disturbance. Yes. And what is tranquility? The very subject behind all the emotions. The subject is tranquility. When a person is peaceful, then that peace is not an emotion. He is being with oneself. To be is tranquility. To feel is not tranquility. To think is not tranquility. To feel jealous is not tranquility. To hate is not tranquility. To love is not tranquility. To hate is not tranquility. To feel jealous is not tranquility. To rival is not tranquility. In fact, any undertaking, any involvement is not tranquility. Any involvement is not tranquility. To be is tranquility. To be. Tranquility is in the form of being, the subject. That being is the sense of the word astita matram. You see, astita matram. I am going to say something again, terse, you have to hear. I am going to say exactly as Vedanta should be taught. बाकी आप लोगों का मर्जी. Being, astita, being silence is not something that can be, tranquility is not something that can be brought about. Tranquility is not brought about. Being is not brought about. The identity of the subject is not brought about. Silence is not brought about. Being is not brought about. Disturbance is brought about. Disturbance is brought about. Tranquility is already there. That is the truth. Tranquility is the truth. Disturbance is brought about. Silence is what is. Sound is, noise is already, noise is brought about. Thus we don't have to bring about the truth. We can only recognize the truth. We don't have to bring about. That is what is called astita matram vastu. Sukshmam, and this is subtle. Let us do little analysis, make a comparison between one sound and another sound. It is not impossible, it's not difficult to compare one sound with another sound. One sound is harsha, another sound is softer. This is called comparison. So the softer sound, we call it as subtler. The harsher sound is called grosser. In this manner, there is a certain gradation among the sounds. Sounds can be compared with one another. Sounds can be compared with one another. And please compare the sound with the silence. Compare the sound with the silence. The moment we make a comparison between the sounds and the silence, then all the sounds come under the gross, the silence comes under the subtle. When we make a comparison only among the sounds, then some sounds are harsher, some sounds are softer, okay, but when we take into account silence, in comparison to the silence, all sounds, harsh and soft, are all gross, whereas silence is subtlest. Can you go beyond silence? I'm just bringing in some of the mystical statements. Some people say you have to go beyond silence. Then just say something, You have to simply say, all these mystical people, tantrics, they just really capture you because human people don't think, You capture their minds by saying something, very, very striking. Supposing you say, Hamara Vedant mein kahte hain ki truth is the subject, then they will immediately say, no, you have to go beyond the subject. Supposing you say awareness, then immediately say, no, awareness is not the final, you have to go beyond awareness. And that is what we have. You see, all that they just want to tempt you away to some institution, wahan par jaake. It is beyond awareness. Supposing you say Vedanta is talking about Brahman, no, you have to go beyond Brahman. I am studying Shastra, immediately say you have to go beyond Shastra. So I am studying about the self, no, you have to go beyond the self. If you say, I am studying, so they say truth is silence, so you have to go beyond silence. If you say Bhagavan, so you have to go beyond Bhagavan. Are you able to follow? I am saying something huge. The hoodwinkers in the society. Can you go beyond silence? What is beyond silence? Because silence is yourself. Now can you go beyond? Can you transcend silence? You can transcend thought. You can transcend disturbance. You can transcend thought. You can't transcend the subject, the truth, the absolute silence. Okay, you can transcend time. Can you transcend timelessness? See, this is your it. You can transcend time. Can you transcend timelessness? Can you transcend timelessness? You can transcend sound. Can you transcend silence? Silence is what one is, which can't be transcended. And that is the definition. Truth is that which can't be transcended. Truth transcends the creation, but you can't transcend the truth. Silence transcends all the sounds, but you can't transcend. Okay, that is called Sukshmam. I am trying to explain the word Sukshmam. Subject, you are the subtlest. Meaning what can't be transcended is the subtlest. You can transcend form. Can you transcend formlessness? Just think about it. Take some time. You can close your eyes to the form. Can you close your eyes to the formlessness? You can close your eyes to the form. When you close your eyes to the form, you are formless. You are not a form. Then how can you close your eyes to the formless? What do you mean by closing eyes? Therefore, the safest thing is look at one's own experiences. Nirvisesham. We are by nature. Truth is by nature free from physical attributes. Freedom from physical attributes doesn't make it abstract. It doesn't mean, you see, not to be a form does not make it, less evident. Not to have physical attributes, not to have a form, not to have the sound, not to have the taste, not to have the touch and smell, not to have the physical attributes, does not make the self less evident. In fact, the formless is more evident than the form. You have to hear it. The formless is more evident than the form. Yes, more evident. The one who sees the form is felt more intimately than the form. The silence is more evident than the noise. Because the one who hears the sound is the silence. The seer of the form is the formless. Therefore, now between the two, tell me which is more evident. More evident, which is more intimately evident. Let me at least put it this way. Which is more intimately evident? The form or the formless? The formless, because the one who sees the form is formless. Form is never intimate. Form is never felt as oneself. One always feels oneself. One experiences one's existence as the one who is aware of the form. One is aware of the form. As the one who is aware is not a form. As the seer of form. As the seer of the form, one is not a form. Therefore, freedom from not to have a form, not to have a sound, taste, touch, smell, doesn't make the truth less evident. It's very evident. That is called nirvisesham. This particular word will come again. Just dwell on this word. We say, does God have a form or is he formless? Swamiji, you are talking about God. Which God are you talking? Does he have a form or is he formless? Great question. Anyway, how many gods do you have? How many gods do you have? God with a form or God without a form? Supposing there are two gods. One God with a form, another God without a form. Then you can ask me a question, Maharajji, which God are you talking about? Is it God with a form or God without a form? Supposing there is no God with a form, God means the truth, and truth is formless. Yes, truth is formless. Formless means this physical. Formless does not mean really just abstract. The very light, the one who sees the form is the formless. The one who observes the form is formless. The one who observes the form is formless. I want you to come to that point. I keep on saying that because that's where the breakthrough comes. Because our customary way of listening is something very interesting. We all the time imagine about God. God, the moment there is a discussion about God, we get into the realm of imagination. We start imagining. God must be like this, like this. We keep on imagining. And then really, and every day we imagine him differently, and each one imagines him differently. Therefore, this customary way of imagining God has to come to an end to be able to understand God. Because God is not an object of imagination. God is an evident truth. God is an unmissable, evident truth. God is the evident truth. And therefore, here he says, nirvisesha means the one that is free from visesha. Visesha means attributes of matter. God doesn't have the attributes of matter. God is free. He doesn't have a given size. He doesn't have a given color. He doesn't have a given form. All these things are called really nirvisesha. Okay. the more of. Anyway, I'll give you just get an idea. Nirvisesham. What is nirvisesham? Nirvisesham means when you are fast asleep, what are your attributes? Think back your sleep. Tell me, how tall were you in sleep? What was your height in sleep? Your height, body is left behind. You see, when you go inside, you don't carry the body. What was your height? No height. What was your complexion, color? No complexion. What was your weight? Therefore, if you want to lose weight, the best place is go into deep sleep. वहाँ पर weight नहीं है. You become weightless. हाँ जी. Therefore, sleep is nirvisesham. It is wrong to think we are aware of only viseshas. We know only the physical attributes. We don't know what it is like becoming free from attribute. It is all bluff. We not only know what the matter is, the physical attributes are, we also know what is freedom from attributes. Therefore, when we fall asleep, we become attribute free, physical attributes free, body free, therefore bodily attributes free. We become mind free, thought free, therefore we become free from all the attributes of the thought. We become free from time, therefore become free from past and future. Just to see, we become free from time, we become free from past and future. We become free from all emotions, love, hate, kama, krodha, the emotions. We become free from height and weight. We become free from the other, the world. Is it not what happened? Is this not what happens in deep sleep? We transcend the world, transcend the body, transcend the mind, transcend time, transcend past and future. That's our nature. The one who transcends is the truth. What is transcended is the false. Another definition. Think about it. What is available to me, what I can transcend is false. And the one who transcends is the truth. Does it not interest? Does it not interest in life? This topic. What we transcend is the false, and the one who transcends is the truth. Because ultimately, the one who transcends is the truth. That is what we are. Nobody experiences, I was transcended. Do you ever experience this? I was transcended. Can you put it in passive voice? I was, in deep sleep state, I was transcended. Can you recollect like that? No. When you look back at deep sleep, you always say, I transcended this world, I transcended this body and the mind. I left this world, the body and the mind. I transcended is the recollection, not I was transcended. I was transcended. Because the subject is never transcended, but the subject transcends. If you understand the difference between the two, it's a lot. All right. Between the wave and the water, which transcends what? Let us understand this word transcend. Once for good. Between the wave and water, which transcends what? Water transcends the wave. समझ गए है ना? बहुत बड़ी बात है, इसको समझ गए. Water transcends the wave. Another example, the sky and the blueness. The sky is by nature colorless. But the colorless sky transcends the blue. The colorless sky transcends the blueness. Another example I will do. You see mirage water in the sand. There, which transcends what? Sand transcends the mirage water. Because it's not tainted by it. Mirage water doesn't taint the sand. Therefore the sand transcends the water. The sky is not colored by blueness. The sky is not colored by the blueness that I see. Therefore, the sky transcends the blueness. The sand transcends the water, mirage water. The snake, it happens to be the rope. I see it for snake, but the snake doesn't affect the rope identity. Therefore, the rope transcends it. If I have given you some idea of this word, there is something transcended, there is something transcends. If you can just dwell on this particular phenomenon called transcendence, here understand, then immediately apply it to yourself. You transcend thought. Understand? Your existence transcends thought. Like water transcends the wave, like the sky, the colorless sky transcends the blueness, like the rope transcends the snake, like the sand transcends the mirage water, the subject transcends the mind. Therefore, all that we think is like mirage. Our existence is like the water. Haji. Our existence is like the sand. Our existence is like the sand. And the entire realm of thinking is the mirage. Like the entire dream is a dream. And the one who is dreaming the subject is like the sand. The dream is like mirage. Yes, why not? That is why when you wake up from the dream, none of the dream details really has tainted your being. You don't carry any taint. There is no taint. So the dream doesn't leave behind any taint on you. It's such a clean break. In fact, the cleanest solution you get only from mirage. As you go closer and closer and closer to the mirage water, and then there you go, and suddenly discover that it is not water, that it is sand. In that vision of sand, where is the water? In the vision of sand, where is the water? There is no water, it's gone. In the vision of the rope, where is the snake? In the vision of the colorless sky, where is the color? In the vision of the identity of ourselves as the subject, there is no object. In the vision of silence, where is the sound? In the vision of silence, where is the sound? When you register silence, in that silence there is no sound. In the vision of the subject, there is no object. In the vision of the rope, there is no snake. Therefore, what corrects the snake is the vision of the rope. Not the rope, but the vision of the rope, the right knowledge of the rope. The right vision of the rope. Therefore, now coming back to the point, tell me, physical attributes is called savishesham. I want you to listen to this point. All these physical attributes, the forms, the sounds, the taste, the touches, the smells, These matter, this color, these material qualities are all called savisesha. Freedom from all the material qualities is called nirvisesha. Now my question to you is, you can just think about it. Forget about this lecture. Just think about this one point. If you think about that one point and then see, yes, this Swami, this Vedanta, what it's talking is right. The moment you see it, I tell you, you have lived all your 100 years well in great, what we call, sense of purpose. You have lived fruitfully. This question I am raising is this. Savisesha means all material qualities known to us. Nirvisesham, freedom from all the material qualities, is also known to us. We do experience matter, we also experience freedom from matter. We experience the body, we also experience freedom from the body. Is it not true? When we say sleep, experiencing sleep, what is it? It is experiencing freedom from the body. Now, how can we say our experiencing matter counts? Only the matter alone, only matter is known to us and the freedom from matter is not known. How can we say that? We can't say we know only the sound but we don't know silence. You can't say. We know what is sound, we also know silence. We experience silence. We do have stages in life. We do have situations like sleep, etc., where the sound comes to an end. Why not? So in order to understand ourselves, we have to take into account the totality of experiences, and that is waking state, a state of waking, a state of dream, and also a state of deep sleep. A state of embodiment and also a state of freedom from body. Both we have to take into account. Taking only what is convenient doesn't work. Now anyway, we'll continue it in the next class. Yes, I am asking you one more question. You think about it at home. It's an important question. Which is important? Waking, dream, or sleep? Sound sleep. There are three states. Waking, this is called waking. And then when you fall asleep, you get some dreams. It's also there. And sometimes you have sleep without any dreams. That is also there. You can't say dreamless sleep is not possible, don't say. Sleep. You can have sleep with dream. You can also have sleep without dream. No, Swamiji, whenever I fall asleep, I always get a dream. It is not true. It is just that you remember dreams. You don't remember tranquility. Tranquility is not another dream. Therefore, you only remember the dream. But there are dreamless sleep also. You can't say thought is a creation, but its resolution is not possible, you can't say. Such a simple thing. A lot of people waste years and years and years and years. Years and years just going round and round such a simplistic stuff. Some people say, dreamless sleep is impossible, they say. Why? Why it is impossible? I say dream is a creation. Anything that has a creation has resolution, and resolution is deep sleep. When thought resolves, that is deep sleep. You can't take a stand, wave can only be born, but wave cannot resolve. Can you say that? Bhagavan Krishna says, hey, jata se dhruvam mrityu, dhruvam janma mritasya cha. What is born has resolution. Why waste time? Just bulldoze it and go ahead. Bulldoze it and go ahead. Don't go round, such simplistic things. This is another problem. People, love to just go round. Such a simple thing. Anything that is born has to end. Any problem that has a beginning also has an end. Bas. It has an end. Just wait in time, it will all go. Therefore, waking, dream and deep sleep, of the three states, no state is more important, no state is less important. We have to look at all the three. Because all the three states are important because you are there in every state. You are important. The subject is all important because you are there in the waking, you are there in the dream, you are also there in deep sleep. Therefore, carry this thought. In life there is nothing more important, nothing less important. All the three states are equally important. In life, everything has its place. Everything has. Duty has its place. Exercise has its place. Taking right food has its place. And studying the scripture has its place. You can't live an exclusive life. You have to live all-inclusive life. You have to live a comprehensive life, not exclusive life. You have to live a comprehensive life. Everything has its sacred because it is for me. So it is valuable. Exercise is for me. Duty is for me. Food is for me. Rest is for me. Values are for me. Shanti is for me. Everything I am using Bhagavan's creation for me. If I am using air for me, sunlight for me, water for me, earth for me, if I am using every detail for me, then is God's creation, is creation sacred or not? Everything is sacred. Why? I am using it. It is for my happiness. Similarly, in Vedanta Vichara, all the three states are necessary. We will continue it later. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.